What's up, guys? Are we working? So let's see. Okay, we're loaded. Let's go through some bets. So we're going to look through PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, all the popular sports books. I'll try to keep it, as quick as I can. I like to talk, but hey, we'll find some good plays. You can see some bets already popping up. For Thursday Night Football, Alvin Kamara, over 50.5 rushing yards, plus 112 on Caesars. No other book even giving you plus money. Seems pretty good, right? This positive EV tool, all it's going to do is show you value in the market. Nothing complicated. I usually set my max odds like plus 120, something like that. But this seems pretty good. Plus 112. All the other books have minus 115. And we'll get into some PrizePicks plays here in a second. But my main sweat for tonight is Sam Houston State, -4. I got it in a parlay. I hit one of these big parlays last week, won like 14K, hoping to do it again. But anyways, let's go back here. So some of these plays we locked in on the previous live stream, so I'll try not to include them again on PrizePicks, but I do think Travis to not score a touchdown, Saquon to not score a touchdown, those are good plays on PrizePicks. And again, like PrizePicks, the betting strategy for PrizePicks is pretty simple, right? If we take Travis under and Saquon under, we're going to get a 3x payout on PrizePicks. If we take them both to go over, we're still going to get a 3x payout. So what we want to do is we want to figure out like, okay, which, outcome is more likely for all these players. So if you look up like, Travis, you're going to see he's heavily favored on all these sports books to not score a touchdown. Minus 150, minus 150 is across the board. And not a lot of books have these two-way markets. Like Caesar Sportsbook, for example, they're only giving you plus 101 on him to score a touchdown. They don't even offer odds on the under. But you can see all the books have him heavily favored to go under. And even if you're like, nah, screw that. Like, I want to take him over. He scored 2 out of the past 5 games. So that makes sense. Take his over. But anyways, even if you want to take him to score a touchdown, like, don't bet it on PrizePicks, right? You should be betting it at plus money at the best possible odds, like plus 113. But anyways, let's go through some plays. So what we can do is we can just take a look at PrizePicks. So the first play we got is Chris over 4.5 receptions. So if we look here and we take a look right here, is again, like PrizePicks strategy, it's not super complicated. PrizePicks gives you the same payout if you take an over or an under. It's a fixed payout website. So it all boils down, like the entire PrizePicks platform boils down. It's the same 3x payout, regardless of the 2 picks you go with, soccer, baseball, over, under, whatever. You're always going to be getting a 3x payout. So the entire platform boils down to what percentage of the time can you win these over-unders. And basically, if you can win these over-unders above 54.25% of the time, I've gone through the math on PrizePicks. I got my pretty little spreadsheet. If you can win your player props, your over-unders, 54.25% of the time or more, you're going to be profitable. That's not easy to do, right? Like this means win 55% of your picks, like Chris over under 4.5. You got to be able to win those picks on PrizePicks 55% of the time, only losing 45%, right? So you need a real advantage. Win 55, only lose 45% of your picks. Damn, I got a lot of tabs open. Shit. So what we can do is we can close some of these tabs. Too much to look at. But anyways, why do we like this play on Chris to score, over 4.5 receptions? I mean, just look at the data. All the sports books have him heavily favored to go over 4.5 receptions. Thursday Night Football pick. Every sports book. You got a bunch of billion-dollar companies, really good models, data feeds, everything. They're all telling you he's a lot more likely to go over as opposed to under, which is why this pick is winning above 54.25% of the time and is profitable in a PrizePicks entry. So we got our first pick. So it's like, okay, what else you got for us, Odds Jam? And that's about it. So we can go back here, we can go to PrizePicks, and we can reload this fantasy optimizer and just take a look, see what's out there in the market. Oh, baby. We got our boy Yike over 2. So this is a League of Legends play. And again, I like both these picks. This play also pairs pretty nicely, right? If Chris is on the field getting a lot of receptions, Travis is more likely to not score a touchdown a little bit, right? So maybe those pair well together. But anyways, let's go over to League of Legends. I don't really care what I'm betting on. If there's value, I'll be betting it. So let's take a look at this player, right? And again, like all these sports books, we got a good looking play on Underdog from yesterday's live stream. The Diamondbacks suck, though. I lost money, a lot of money betting. Whoa, what the heck is going on? Underdog's got a lot of promos. Whoa. But again, like all these, platforms have tens and tens of thousands of options, right? Things you can bet. Most of these bets suck, right? We're looking for, where are the few spots where PrizePicks is asleep at the wheel? So you take a look here at Yike. All the other platforms, ParlayPlay, right? Let's take a look at our boy Yike. They have his line at 2.5. Underdog Fantasy has his line at 2.5. Everything is baked into the odds, right? Like so many people will be like, oh, like you're not considering, Travis scored in the last game, right? It's like, it doesn't matter. It's all baked into the market, the odds that sportsbooks put out. The same way a stock price, if the economy is doing well, stocks go up. They reflect information that the economy is doing well, or a stock has good earnings, the company is making a lot of money, the stock price goes up. It's all reflected in the market. And again, following data is just, how you make money. And obviously you can skip over some of these picks if you don't like them. We don't, if there's like, oh, I hate betting against Travis, it's like you don't have to hit the bet, but just an option. So anyways, we need some more picks to go with. So let me refresh this. So we have 4 picks. There's not like a ton of value on PrizePicks right now. I mean, this play looks pretty good. We found some value, but we need one more pick to go with. And it's just kind of like, okay, like let's find, ideally one more play. We already have Crownie over 1.5, but maybe it's like, whatever, we'll lock it in for more. So I got to go back to League of Legends. Out of all this crap, right, we're looking for those few discrepancies, those few plays with value on PrizePicks where we're very confident that this is a play winning above 54.25% of the time. You can see PrizePicks only gives me a max bet size, $25. I beat them up too bad. And here we got a nice little, 5-pick entry, 5-pick flex play. Because it does matter too, right? Like how many picks you're including in your entry. PrizePicks only gives you a 5x payout for 3-pick entries, whereas Underdog Fantasy, if you look at Underdog, they're giving us 100 to win 600. That's a 6x payout. So it does kind of matter. Like on PrizePicks, you want to go with these 5 flexes. And oh my gosh, we got a lot of plays. We got a lot of plays to look at. Damn. So let's go back here. Now we can reload Underdog. And it's like, okay, we got some plays on PrizePicks. That's great. But it's like, let's check out Underdog Fantasy and ParlayPlay. Whoa, we got a lot of bets. We got a lot of bets. Maybe a longer live stream than I was hoping for. Oh my gosh. This play is freaking beautiful. So let's go here. We got Nate McCollum under 6 receptions. And again, it's all about the data, right? Like this is how you make money sports betting. You're not going to outmodel FanDuel Sportsbook. As smart as you think you are, you're not going to outmodel FanDuel Sportsbook and all these books, right? Like they have hundreds of employees whose full-time job and unlimited money to set lines, right? Their projections are overall pretty good, but all these books set lines independently. So we're trying to find those few spots where they're screwing up. So you look at our boy Nate McCollum, FanDuel has his line at 4.5. That's crazy, right? You could bet him over 4.5, under 6 if he has 5 receptions, which his distribution is centered around, right? Like he's not going to have 50 interceptions or receptions. He's not going to have 0 most likely. So the probability he ends up on exactly 5 receptions is pretty likely. So like you could middle bet this, hit the over 4.5 on FanDuel, hit the under 6 on Underdog. It's like buying a stock at 450 and then flipping it on another platform for 6. But of course, that's not going to happen in the stock market. The stock market's way too efficient. Damn, there are a lot of discrepancies on Underdog. I'm having a heart attack looking at all these lines. Oh, man. Max Scherzer, under 4.5 strikeouts. Under for Max Scherzer. That seems crazy. But anyways, we can take a look at some of these plays. All about the data. We can also see, do they have any TD lines up? You got any TD lines for us, Underdog? Doesn't look like it. They have Josh Jacobs, but I looked at Josh Jacobs earlier on PrizePicks. No value. Kenneth Walker, no value. So some of these plays I've already looked at, but all these chili peppers in general, like this stuff, not good. But what we can do is we can also look at, college football touchdowns. Sometimes not as many books post lines. Like you can see here, Diego Pavia, he's a slight favorite to go over. New Mexico State's quarterback, he's a baller. He knows how to run. But there's not enough value, right? Like sportsbooks only have us over a little bit favored, very slightly. So not a ton of value. So not really anything there. But sometimes, there's some pretty good TD plays. Nicholas Singleton. I mean, some of these plays, Blake Shapen, right? Sometimes you can find some good plays. What the heck? No way. Oh, that's passing TDs. Almost gave me a heart attack. I thought we could get him anyways. We can look at Singleton. But anyways, there's a lot of plays on Underdog, period. So I don't have to spend a ton of time, kind of wasting everyone's time going through all this crap. Emory Jones, I mean, yeah, whatever. Let's go back here. Let's take a look at the market. Let's kind of see what's out there. So we can go back here to PrizePicks. Where do they have this guy's line? And we can just try to zone in on okay, what are some good plays? Sabrina over in points. This is WNBA. Not as many books post player prop lines on the WNBA. But I mean, this play seems really good, actually. PrizePicks, ParlayPlay have her line at 14.5. Caesar Sportsbook has her line at 14.5 with the over heavily favored. So what is Underdog doing with their line at 14? All the sports books have a line at 14.5 or 14 with the over favored. You got to consider the juice, right? Caesars has her over as a favorite, minus 135. Same thing with DraftKings. That's $2 billion companies telling you, hey, she's more likely to go over 14.5 points, and Underdog has the line at 14, right? So we're just using this data, market information, however you want to think about it, to zone in on, the best bets on these platforms. So Broken Blade over 2.5. PrizePicks has his line at 3. No lineup yet on ParlayPlay. Right? So here we have a discrepancy. Right? We want to see discrepancies in the market. That's what we want to see as sharp bettors. We don't want to see where all books have the same line, because that means there's no value in the market, right? We want to see these discrepancies. Showmaker under 3.5. This play seems solid as well. So here we go. We got 3 picks in our play. Fuck it. I'm going to go with Max Scherzer under 4.5 strikeouts. Why do we like this play? It's the same strategy as PrizePicks. All the books you can see right here, they all have his under super heavily favored. So that play seems great. Super heavily favored. Under 4.5, right? They all have him heavily favored. Underdog is another platform that give us the same payout, 10x for a 4-pick entry. If we take him to go over or under. But all the books have him heavily favored to go under, so that's the play we want to go with. Man, I love betting on sports. Nothing more fun than that. So you can see here, we got a nice little 5-pick entry, 5 picks with insurance, 5 plays with an edge. And again, Underdog Fantasy, they only give me a max bet size of $100. So the hard part in sports betting, it's not the strategy to get an edge, right? It's getting down the volume, right? So here's what I just locked in on Underdog, 5-pick insured entry. And we need Seager over 2 hits plus runs plus RBIs to kind of finish off the day. So here's what we got. College football, League of Legends, MLB, WNBA. It looks random, but that's where the value is. Again, Underdog Fantasy, similar to PrizePicks. It all boils down to your win rate. And it's kind of like the same thing for arbitrage betting. When I started sports betting, I was arbitrage betting, and I locked in this play. I gave it out on Twitter. You can see here. Here's my bet. I have Cincy plus 4.5 at minus 200 on Fliff. So arbitrage betting is when these books get so out of sync that you can bet equal and opposite outcomes and make a risk-free profit. So we have Cincy plus 4.5 and Baylor minus 4.5. Right? So how does this work? Right? That's what we're trying to figure out. So Fliff has Cincy plus 4.5 at minus 200. So this is risk-free money. I made my first $40,000 just arbitrage betting. And again, the strategy doesn't change. Strategy doesn't change. It's just putting in the work to get them down and not being a lazy little shithead. So you can see here what we want to do is put into the art. So Fliff has a max bet size of 250. So when I'm arbitrage betting on Fliff, I always put 250 into the calculator, right? 250, that's the max allowed. And it tells me, hey, if you bet 113.64 on FanDuel, you'll make a risk-free $11.36, which is exactly what I bet and gave out on Twitter, right? So it's like, okay, how does that work? How does the math work? So there's two outcomes, right? These are equal and opposite outcomes. Either Cincy covers the spread or Baylor covers the spread, right? They're both spreads at 4.5. So if Cincy covers on Fliff, we're up $125, right? That's our profit, right? We bet 250 at minus 200. So our profit's 125. On FanDuel, we lose 113.64. We're up $11. This is arbitrage betting. It's not glamorous, but it's free money. Now, on the other hand, if Baylor minus 4.5 wins, we lose 250 on Fliff. On FanDuel, we go up 113.64 times 2.3, 261. We make $11 no matter what. It's not hard to do. The strategy never changes. It's just you got to put in the work to do it. So then you can see I went on to the next arbitrage bet, Cincy plus 3.5. I hit that for 250, day trading the sports books like a little shithead I am, made a risk-free 926. Moving around sportsbook to sportsbook, kind of just locking in these risk-free profits. Anyways, there's more plays, but I'll do a live stream closer to the start of MLB. I mean, there's more plays out there, but we got some good plays down on PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, so I'll be back in a bit. Thanks so much for tuning in.